Next question is from Sydney, nice and loud.
Is there something you did for good luck?
Is it what?
Is there something you did for good luck?
For good luck.
Oh, I can't think of anything that I, really did for good luck. Just thinking back on one of my, somebody asked about memorable times. We would drive over to another town, which was about 10, 12 miles away. It'd be like going from here to Hayden. And it was on the beach. And they had a USO. And we would go over there. And they had real phones. And we could call home. Of course, we'd usually wake people up when we'd call them home. Because we were talking in the middle of the day and they were at home in bed in the middle of the night. But I don't remember doing anything for good luck, no.
Hunter?
Was there any pranks you pulled?
Any what?
Was there any pranks you pulled on others?
Any pranks or jokes you pulled on others?
Oh. I can't really think of any that we did, especially in Vietnam, because everything over there was real serious in the nature. We did things and had fun. And all I got pictures at home, and some of them are the enlisted men playing a baseball game against the officers. I can't remember who won. It was too many years ago. But all the guys on my crew, we slept in the same hooch, which was just a nickname for barracks. And just because the main thing was because we worked night shift and everybody else worked day shift. And that way we weren't messing with somebody else's schedule and they weren't messing with ours. We could get movies from the orderly room and watch a movie at night when we got back if it was early enough. And the mess hall was never open when we were ready to go eat. Breakfast and lunch, we were in bed, and supper we were at work. So we fended for ourselves for food, and I can remember taking a month and gathering up food and fixing a Christmas dinner for ourselves. It's surprising what you can find in cans. We had corn on the cob and some ham, and I can't remember what all else now, but it was all canned food.
Maddie?
Do you recall the day the service ended?
The day that what?
The service
The day
ended.
that your service ended?
Yeah. It was, well, the day before I went through and we had to check out, and you had a whole page of different places you had to go. You had to go to personnel, you had to go to payroll, you had to go to sick call or the doctor's office, and supply, and several other places, and, you know, get your records or turn in equipment and all sorts of stuff. And that would usually take a day, day and a half to do that. And so I spent all that doing it. And then that last evening, I had a pickup with a little cab over camper on it. And I packed all my stuff that I had left that I was taking home into the camper. And because I turned my bedding in that day, I had a bed in the cab over camper, so I slept in that. And about 6 o'clock in the morning, I was up and went in and signed out for the last time, and went and got in the truck and started driving from Central Texas back to Grand Junction, which was a 2-day trip.
Okay, Edith, he just, I think, touched on your question, but you want to ask it anyway. Go ahead. Louder, really loud,
Where were you?
Where else was I?
No, where were you?
when you got out.
Where was I? I was down in Central Texas, Fort Hood, Texas. Is when I got out of the Army. And especially this last 2 different incidences that have happened at Fort Hood, I would like to go back there and just look around. I grew up as a kid involved in Boy Scouts. I made the rank of Eagle, and when I was down in Texas, I got involved in scouting as an assistant scoutmaster. And that earned me some privileges in the Army. But we'd take the kids, and there was a couple different museums on post and things like that, and I'd like to go back and just see those and see if I could find the barracks where I spent a 1.5 years living.
Grace?
Okay. Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
What was that again,
Was
please?
your education supported by the GI Bill?
No, I didn't get any education afterwards through the GI Bill, and I did not use the GI Bill to guarantee my mortgage for my house. Probably should have, but you know, they always say hindsight's 20/20. But no, I did not. I just came to Craig and started finding jobs and learning how to run equipment and things like that. And
Callie had to leave, but she wanted to know if you made any close friendships while in the service, and if so, have you continued any of those relationships in life?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I did have some good friends both in Vietnam and in Texas, and a couple of the guys that I was friends with in Texas, I did keep in touch with them for a while. And I don't know what happened there, but that kind of, I think after they got out of the service and went home, that's when I lost touch with them. And like I say, I've got some pictures at home and with a couple of the guys that I was friends with in Vietnam, and I probably wouldn't recognize them today. I mean, you look at the difference, how much I've changed in 45 years.
All right, Helen? And can you turn around so we can hear your
How
voice?
did your servants and experience after your life?
Oh, well, you know, it's like I mentioned earlier about that helicopter wreck, and I think that kind of influenced me getting involved with the ambulance service, the fire department, mine rescue. We're trying to help people. And there was a lot of things that went on during the Vietnam War that Vietnam veterans were not very well liked by the general public. And after a number of years, a lot of Vietnam veterans decided to change some of that. And today, if I see somebody, like, I don't know if you guys see my hat.
Oh.
If I see somebody wearing a hat or a jacket or a shirt or something that designates that they are a veteran, whether they're Vietnam or not, I go up to them and tell them thank you and welcome home. As Vietnam veterans, we never got a thank you or a welcome home. And a lot of Vietnam veterans make sure we tell each other that on a regular basis. One of the things that I do today, in fact yesterday the reason I couldn't be here to do this yesterday was because